Dave Aronberg, what does he have to lose? It's probably true, right? He's almost certainly going to be sentenced to life in prison without chance of parole, I'd expect. But what can he say? I mean, he can't say, okay, I accept responsibility for everything, right? Because that would mean everything, Judge, I said on the witness stand in front of you was a lie.
Yeah, he's backed himself into a corner. He's a professional liar. He's a con man. So what could he say except throwing himself onto the mercy of the court, begging for forgiveness and be a little vague about it? Because remember, he had all those financial crimes. But he should also be speaking to his son. His son was the most emotional in that courtroom, more emotional than he was. And his son now has to grasp the fact that he's lost his entire family, and it's because of his lying dad who did it.
Sarah, what could he possibly do in sentencing? And I don't mean that would have an impact on the judge, right? I don't think there's anything he can do. But what do you expect?
No, yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so from my colleagues in South Carolina, Judge Newman, it's a non-negotiable LWOP, life without the possibility of parole. So it's not like if he speaks and shows mercy and remorse that somehow he's going to get the low end of 30 or something in between. It's really not going to make a difference. And because he's testified, he's really boxed himself in. So I think this is going to be maybe about Buster, testifying. I don't know, the court might hear from Maggie's parents, who I've heard are ill, but maybe they'll testify. Her sister. It is an opportunity for victims to come forward. But that is the reason why the sentencing was scheduled for tomorrow, because in South Carolina, typically he's sentenced and remanded right away, right after the verdict.
So do you think in retrospect now, it was a mistake for the defense team not to try to move the case, right? Change of venue is something that happens a lot in a high-profile case. Here, the defense team believed the Murdaugh family has done so much good for this community, et cetera. They've helped so many people that it could only work to our advantage. Was it a mistake for them not to try to change the venue?
Well, hindsight is 20/20, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they would love a different jury in a different town. But the reason why they kept it there was, as you said, they thought they'd get an advantage because this guy's had privilege his entire life. Through the police badges, through the blue lights, through everything through his life, he's been privileged, and they thought he would get one more act of privilege, this time from the jury, and they were wrong.
I don't know. Sarah, I'm not sure they thought they'd get... Everyone keeps talking about, this shows you, someone who's privileged can be held accountable. Yeah, rich people, white-collar criminals get convicted all the time of doing horrible things.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is not some broad statement about our justice system that, the justice system can actually work. I mean, there was just a ton of evidence against the guy, but respond to what Dave was saying.
Well, I've been following this case since the murders happened.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think back to whether, for some reason, I believe there was a motion for change of venue that was denied.
No.
I got to double check that.
No, they didn't
no,
file a
there
motion.
Wasn't?
No motion for change of venue. Yep.
There must be a reason why they didn't.
It's because they thought this would be a favorable jury. Yeah, they thought this could be a favorable jury.
Well, I think if you think Alex Murdaugh thought this could be a favorable jury, maybe, but I don't think his lawyers would have thought that, given all the buzz around him, all of the documentaries and podcasts and people that really didn't like this family, that was the law in this area.
They did. Go ahead, Dave.
Remember, I would have explored that.
The local prosecutor there, a friend of mine, Duffy Stone, he recused himself because there were accusations he was too close to the family. And so they brought in a prosecutor from Columbia, Clayton Waters, who's not a local. So I think the defense thought, all right, we got this out-of-town prosecutor, and we've got the jury from the low country, and they thought it was a favorable environment, and they were wrong.
All right, we got to get one more break in here. You heard Anjanette Levy there just telling us the defense will be speaking out tomorrow. They will be making an official statement. And one thing is for certain. They will be making an appeal. You heard Dave Aronberg talk about it before. He thinks that they've got some real arguments here for a potential appeal. We are continuing our live coverage of the Alex Murdaugh guilty verdicts. Coming right back. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.